this week's list that we're going to debate the 10 most important pay-per-view events of all time. Now, these aren't the 10 best pay-per-views, so on and so forth. So Donald sent a screenshot as far as the explanation for each one of these. We're not going to read the explanation for each one of these. That's too much time. We're not going to do that. But looking at each one of these pay-per-views, and we can give the Cliff Notes version based off the pay-per-view we select. In your estimation and in your eyes, what is the most important pay-per-view event of all time?
Probably WrestleMania.
Me, WrestleMania.
I would argue against WrestleMania because Clash of the Champions was first.
Yeah, but if WrestleMania didn't work.
Vince got the idea for WrestleMania from Clash.
Clash ain't on this
So
list.
if you don't have no Clash of the Champions, you don't have WrestleMania.
Yeah, but Clash of the Champions was on TBS, right? You know, this was a different type of setup.
Yes.
This was, at the time, it wasn't pay-per-view. It was closed circuit TV. So
a
it's
TV
like
event.
You were going
Again,
to you were going.
If you don't
get
have,
people to go.
if you don't have Clash,
Is that the night?
Vince doesn't have the idea for Mania.
It's the top of the ECW arena.
For me, I will go the Bash of the Beach '96. Whenever Hogan turned, and the reason they gave that was Hogan's heel turn. He made heel characters cool to the fans, and that was breaking.
Not that night.
It was breaking everything about kayfabe. They talk about like later on. Yeah, not that night, but later on, like everybody that's like a cool heel has been cool, and you can see the effects of that. Bullet Club being the biggest one.
That night led to the flooding of tears from the Hulkamaniacs around the globe.
That would be number 2.
Definitely, signified a change in wrestling with that pay-per-view.
It extended his career.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling was real to me then, and that
1,000%.
that crushed me.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Just took a huge shit in the ring.
I share a meme every year. The reason I have trust issues, and I show a clip. It's a picture of Hogan turning.
Sorry, babe.
That still sticks with me.
And then number 2 for me will be All In.
Which one was the one they did just off of Spike?
All in was the bet.
That was the bet. Okay.
Yeah. All in was the bet.
Okay, because you were saying Double or Nothing. I was when me and Dawn were talking about. You were saying Double or Nothing. I was thinking of All In. So, nix that. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Logical answer would say WrestleMania, obviously, because of what we know as WrestleMania now. I threw out the argument just based off of that, just for debate purposes. But yeah, I mean, Vince went all in, no pun intended there, with literally putting every single dime he had into that. And so if it doesn't go on, yeah, we don't know wrestling as of wrestling today. So logical looking at this, I would say, yes, that's the most important pay-per-view event of all time. Bash at the Beach 96, we went over that. All In, spurred to the new wrestling wars we have today.
I give All In 3. On my list.
I think Survivor Series 97.
Basically,
not
kicked
sure
off the Attitude Era.
Where I would put it at, but if we don't get the Brett running Michaels out, the course of both companies, WCW and WWE, are completely different, and we may not have WWE today.
Mm-hmm.
That may have been the most important finish in wrestling, not necessarily important pay-per-view event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They said the reasons for Survivor Series was the Montreal Screwjob sent major players on drastic different paths, and the biggest being the creation of Mr. McMahon as a character.
Which is arguably the best heel character of all time in wrestling. So,
If you didn't have that, would you have had Austin McMahon?
Sure.
or would you have would you have gotten Bret Hart longer in the business? Because then he doesn't go to the WCW and he doesn't get injured by Goldberg.
Yeah.
Who needs Brett longer in the business? Nobody.
FTR.
I think the only pay-per-view I haven't seen on here is When Worlds Collide.
You know.
So it's like,
I mean, when Worlds Collide was All In before All In.
yeah, definitely I
Yes,
get the
it was.
significance of it, looking into it, but yeah, not watching it, I don't know. It's not what got me involved into those types of characters.
Did it spur anything? Did anything come from it?
Had they not done that, you probably wouldn't have seen the cruiserweight division the way it was in WCW or even ECW.
Yeah, and that's the reason they stated for their listeners. It's the first time Americans were exposed to Lucha Libre,
Okay.
and that's where you first saw Rey Mysterio, Eddie, Psychosis coming in, and all them.
Okay.
Even the Wizard himself.
Yeah.
I mean, good list. You make the argument for all these, or for a handful of these.
Nightstand 2005. I mean, that's one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. Like that's one of my go-tos that I go back and rewatch.
To me, that is the greatest crowd at a pay-per-view ever.
Yes.
But like importance, I don't know where I put that really in a like actual importance of pay-per-view.
I thought the explanation for importance was lackluster because the relaunch of ECW and WWE was a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Trying to make money off of a quote unquote dead brand, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Barely Legal is more important than One Night Stand.
No.
So, but yeah, we got another vote there. I don't know if he's serious or not, but 2005 Royal Rumble. I don't know why Dave selected that one, what the significance of it is there. I can't think off the top of my head.
Was that Eddie or not? Ray won the Rumble, or is that 2000?
If that's the case, he's completely trolling you, Chris.
I think 2000. I think 2004 was Benoit winning.
Was there anyone that you could think of that wasn't on the list that you would put on the list?
It's hard because it's importance,
Right, not best, not
best,
greatest
importance,
matches, like importance as far as the business is concerned.
Yeah. Like there's some of my favorite pay-per-views that I would put on like a list, but definitely not like importance.
I could see
okay with it.
I could see Wrestle Kingdom 9 because that was the first one that was offered pay-per-view wise in America.
Okay.
So for people who haven't seen New Japan, that was like one of their almost opportunities with Jeff Jarrett when he did GFW, because that's how I knew about New Japan.
Yeah.
It was the first time I started watching it was because of that Wrestle Kingdom.
2005 Rumble. That's when Vince blew both quads.
That was the double finish, right?
Yeah.
Double elimination.
Oh, that was Batista. Yeah.
Dave,
So
I missed you, Dave.
Yeah. So that I could put that up there for me personally. That's how I got into New Japan.
Good list. Good list. Hit us up on social media. Let us know which pay-per-view out of that list had the most importance in the world of pro wrestling.